From the very beginning, we call you an airman. Core values to follow, rules to obey, a creed to memorize, and an oath to recite. At some point along your journey, things change. Core values that you live and breathe, rules you help others to follow, a creed you feel in your bones, and an oath to a country you would die for. That's airmanship. It's the difference between learning how to be an airman and becoming an airman. Airmanship begins with a relentless and innovative mindset. That mindset is more than an attitude. Airmanship is character, patriotism. It's pride and selflessness, courage, honor, heritage. And it's bound in our core values. You'll hear about 1 million different things in your training designed to make you a better airman. But for every one of us, becoming an airman is different. That one thing you see or hear or feel that grows in us. It's a moment that starts a lifetime. Don't wait for the moment in your journey to find you. Seek it out in every action taken, every challenge you face, every decision made, and every lesson learned. What kind of airman you become is up to you, but what's inside you defines our future. We are wingmen to every airman that has come before us and every airman that will serve long after we are gone. Your airmanship will find a home in that same place in your heart where you carry your country. And the heart of an airman is the soul of our Air Force. Aim high, airmen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of our official party and the playing of musical honors. Please remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Reed.
I invite you to pray with me. Good and loving Lord, we stand before you in humble gratitude, marking the 433rd Training Squadron's graduation from basic military training. We know that it is in giving that we receive. In your wisdom you have made it so. In your graciousness you have made us so. We thank you, Lord, for your faithfulness, that through trials we do not walk alone, for your gift of perseverance, that in our struggles we are made strong. We ask your blessing upon our graduates and those who have brought them to this moment, their instructors, staff, and family members and friends near and far. These men and women who stand before you proudly claim the name of Raiders. Rightly, these airmen and guardians look upon the horizon and see not the storm clouds of discouragement or difficulty, but rather the hope and confidence of those who, like generations past, have joined the long blue line and move with purpose to take hold the vastness of the sky. Their destiny, your glory. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Reed. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Welcome to today's Basic Military Training graduation ceremony. We would like to introduce our distinguished guests, beginning with the host for today's ceremony. The Commander, Air Force Basic Military Training, Colonel Jeff Pixley, accompanied by his wife, Andrea. The Acting Senior Enlisted Leader, Air Force Basic Military Training, Chief Master Sergeant Daryl Villard. Our reviewing official and senior enlisted leader, the Director of Military Justice and Discipline, Judge Advocate General's Corps, Department of the Air Force, Brigadier General Rebecca Vernon, accompanied by her husband, Dan. The Command Chief, 37th Training Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Mike Morgan. Also in attendance with us today, professional staff members, Senate Armed Services Committee, Mr. Andy Scott and Mr. Sean O'Keefe. The Vice Commander, 37th Training Wing, Colonel Trey Irick. Although time does not permit us to introduce all of our distinguished guests, the 737 Training Group is proud to welcome each of you. We hope you enjoyed today's ceremony. Our Commander of Airmen is Major Robert Glover, Commander, 433rd Training Squadron. Brigadier General Rebecca Vernon will review today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. Seven 37th Training Group, United States Air Force, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. Subject, Commander's Excellence. The Commander's Excellence Streamer is awarded to the 433rd Training Squadron, Flight 730, for their significant accomplishments demonstrating teamwork, excellence, and esprit de corps during the period of 26 July 2021 to 9 September 2021. Signed, Jeffrey Pixley, Colonel, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating airmen and guardians passing in review today represent a portion of the men and women who will complete basic military training this year. The 737 Training Group provides all recruits the essential military training to become motivated members of the world's greatest air and space forces. The military training instructors are responsible for the indoctrination, development, and discipline of the airmen and guardians. They have dedicated endless hours to ensure all training objectives are met. Today's graduates have proven through academic studies, military training, physical training, and the development of teamwork that they are ready to take their place in the United States Air and Space Forces. Now passing in review from the 433rd Training Squadron, the Commander of Airmen, led by Major Robert Glover, Commander, Hometown, Jackson, Tennessee. Flight 739, led by Technical Sergeant Delvon Bradley, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, Miami, Florida. Flight 740, led by Staff Sergeant Sarah Bento, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, San Jose, California. Flight 735, led by Technical Sergeant Kyle Graber, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, Arthur, Illinois. Flight 736, led by Staff Sergeant Drayson Reese, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Flight 738, led by Master Sergeant Jamie Bishop, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, Mansfield, Ohio. Flight 737, led by Technical Sergeant Sean Melville, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, Middleburg, Florida. Academic and PT Excellence Flight 731, led by Technical Sergeant Garrett Jimenez, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, Winchester, Virginia. Flight 734, led by Staff Sergeant McCavian Haygood, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, Greenville, South Carolina. Flight 732, led by Technical Sergeant Jorge Rosales, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, Riverside, California. Flight 733, led by Technical Sergeant Jenna Carr, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, Swanton, Ohio. Commander's Excellence and PT Excellence, Flight 730, led by Technical Sergeant Michael Smith, Military Training Instructor Trainer, Hometown, Tony, Alabama. Flight 727, led by Technical Sergeant Danielle Eden, Military Training Instructor Trainer, Hometown, Stafford, Virginia. Flight 728, led by Staff Sergeant Anthony Abraham, military training instructor, hometown, Chicago, Illinois. Flight 729, led by Technical Sergeant Jeremy Glenn, military training instructor, hometown, Yuma, Arizona. Musical support for this morning's ceremony has been provided by graduating airmen and guardians from the 433rd Training Squadron, as well as the 322nd Training Squadron, performing under the direction of Master Sergeant Miles Hudlow, hometown, Raleigh, North Carolina. These individuals have been hand-selected to perform for today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Master Sergeant Mike Morgan will now come forward and say a few words.
Good morning, parents. Who's happy to be here? It's great having you all back at basic military training. But for the real reason why we're here, the Airmen and Guardians. Airmen and Guardians, you are joining a team of professionals dedicated to integrity, service, and excellence. The Airmen and Guardians coin you will receive may seem a simple coin, but it carries with it the history and heritage of our Airmen and Guardians. The men and women who have come before you have airlifted troops and supplies into the jungles of Vietnam, executed precision airstrikes in the deserts of Iraq and Afghanistan, delivered humanitarian aid to villages in Africa and South America. They have launched missiles and flown satellites, defended airstrips, and strengthened partnerships. They have stood on the North Pole, the South Pole, and everywhere in between. This weekend, we remember the 20th anniversary of the attacks on 9/11, an act of terrorism that took nearly 3,000 lives and began the War on Terror. That day, many heroes arose: passengers, flight attendants, firefighters, police officers, medics, and everyday citizens came together to save the lives of those who they could. And there are those of you in the audience who over the past 20 years have served in Operations Enduring Freedom, Noble Eagle, and many, many more. Today, I would like to thank you for your service to this nation and to your brothers and sisters in the profession of arms. Your effort and sacrifice kept terrorism at bay for 20 years, making our nation and the world a safer place. I can only offer a humble salute to you for your service. To our newest airmen and guardians, today you graduate from basic military training and join us in that same profession of arms. Always remember that while you serve in or out of uniform, you represent not only those around you, but those who came before you and those that will follow. The next time you look in a mirror, I hope you see what I see in front of me right now: promise, potential, and a legacy of professional airmen and guardians. To your families here and watching via the live stream, I thank you for sending us the best this nation has to offer. You've grown, groomed, and made young warriors standing here today. Without your support, they wouldn't be who they are today. Know that we will do our best to watch over them as we welcome them to be part of an extended family, the United States Air Force and Space Force. Airmen, I leave you with this. You are joining a team that will look to you to define the character of our air and space forces for years to come. We have the utmost faith in you because every time you recite the Airman's Creed, you adamantly proclaim that you will not fail, and we believe you. I believe you. I hereby acknowledge your completion of all graduation requirements and have recommended to Colonel Pixley and Chief Master Sergeant Guyton that you receive your coveted Airman and Guardians coin, which signifies your transition today from trainees to Airmen and Guardians. Congratulations. Military training instructors, you may proceed.
At this part of the ceremony, the military training instructors will distribute the Venerable Airman's Coin, and for the first time, distinct Space Force coins to our Space Force graduates. The lore of military coins has many colorful suspected origins. However, a popular story stems from World War I, where American volunteers formed flying squadrons in France during the Great War. One of the volunteers was a wealthy lieutenant who took great pride in his service and had medallions cast in bronze, with his squadron's emblem on them. He gave those medallions to every member of his unit. Not long after, one of the pilots was shot down behind enemy lines and was captured by a German patrol. The German forces confiscated the pilot's possessions except for the pilot's medallion that he wore around his neck. While in confinement in a small French village, the captured pilot took advantage of a nighttime bombardment by the Allies. He donned civilian clothes and escaped after crossing the front lines to safety. He came across a French outpost where he was initially thought to be a saboteur, until he showed them his unit coin. The French forces recognized the unit emblem, and instead of any harsher treatment, he received a bottle of wine. Today, several military units have developed their own coins and specific rules for them. Many organizations give out their unit coins to recognize outstanding performances and achievements. The coins the airmen and space professionals receive today are unique in that they originate here at the gateway to the Air Force and are only given to those who complete this rigorous course of instruction. On one side of the airman's coin, the original emblem of the Air Force resides as envisioned by General Henry Hap Arnold, one of the first military aviators and later commander of the Army Air Forces in World War II. Beneath the emblem, the year 1947, the birth date of the United States Air Force, and around the rim of the coin, the core values of the Air Force: integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. Inscribed on the other side of the coin is the newly recognized emblem of the Air Force, a symbol that honors the heritage of our past and represents the promise of our future. The emblem retains the core elements of the Henry Hap Arnold emblem, the Arnold wings, and the star within a circle. The modern effect of the emblem reflects our Air and Space Force today and into the future. Inscribed in a half circle above the contemporary Air Force emblem is the Air Force motto, "Aim high, fly, fight, win." And on the border of the coin, a reminder to all who see this is inscribed, "Awarded on the occasion of becoming an airman in the world's greatest Air Force." The Space Professional coin also has a distinctive design. On one side, it displays the original emblem of the Space Force, the Delta, which was first used by space units in 1961 and honors the heritage of the United States Space Force. Beneath the emblem is the year 2019, the birth date of the United States Space Force. Inscribed on the other side of the coin is the Space Force motto, Semper Supra, which translates to always above. This represents the Space Force's role in establishing, maintaining, and preserving our nation's dominance and freedom of operations in the space domain. On the coin's border is a commemorative inscription that reads, awarded on the occasion of becoming a charter member of the United States Space Force.
Flight commanders, place your flights at attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as a sign of unity as our newest airmen and guardians recite the Airman's Creed. I am an American airman.
Of honor
Congratulations, Airmen and Guardians. Now how about that squadron pride?
Raiders!
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Flight commanders, place your flights at ease. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to take this opportunity to recognize basic military training's most outstanding performer, someone who demonstrated their ability to successfully navigate all assessments, testing their physical abilities, academic aptitude, and adaptability to the military environment through multiple progress checks. This airman has surpassed all others in the challenges of training and has earned the distinction of being the top graduate of this class. The top graduate is from Flight 739, Airman Dalton Arnold. The recruiter of Airman Arnold is Technical Sergeant Jarrell Hooper from the 353rd Recruiting Squadron, Air Force Reserve Command. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, Brigadier General Rebecca Vernon will now come forward and address our newest airmen and guardians.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone on our live stream. Thank you for joining us today during this important occasion. For those of us joining us online, I know you wish you could be here and look forward to the day when these stands are packed, full of loved ones here to witness the incredible transformation of our airmen and guardians and that they make in such a short time. 7.5 weeks ago, you entrusted us with our nation's most valuable treasure, your sons, daughters, husbands, wives, significant others, and in some cases, your moms and dads. They wouldn't have come here without your encouragement, and I know your continued support provided the strength they needed to successfully complete basic military training and join the world's greatest air and space forces. I want to take this time to personally thank you for that support and encouragement, but more importantly, thank you for your trust. I know what it took to put your loved ones on a bus or plane and send them here in the middle of a global pandemic. It tells me a lot about your love of our country. I will defend my country with my life. You heard those words from these young airmen and guardians. Those are very powerful words. In 2 days, it will be the 20th anniversary of 9/11. 20 years ago, when 246 innocent people boarded 4 commercial flights, anticipating vacations, business trips, and visits with extended family. Instead, terrorists would shatter the peacefulness and security of American life, and things would never be the same. At approximately 8:46 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 hit the North Tower of the World Trade Center, followed 17 minutes later by United Airlines Flight 175, hitting the 60th floor of the South Tower. In less than 2 hours, the 110 stories of both buildings would collapse, taking thousands with them. At the Pentagon, 189 more would lose their lives when American Airlines Flight 77 hit the west side of the building. And in a field over Pennsylvania, the brave souls of United Airlines Flight 93 would sacrifice their own lives to ensure more lives would not be lost. We came together as a nation on that day. Amongst the horror and the tragedy, Americans found courage, community, and love. That day tested our character as Americans, and we rose to the occasion. We learned that no one can weaken our resolve, no one can threaten our freedoms, And while we may have our differences in our day-to-day lives, when you kill one of us, you fight all of us. On that day, the terrorists awoke a sleeping giant, a giant that will defend its ideals of freedom, liberty, and prosperity. We must never forget the 3,000 lives that were lost on that day. In their honor, we continue to fight to protect our national ideals. On that day, our military answered the call, running towards danger to protect our nation, boldly starting a campaign against terrorism that would keep our homeland safe for the next 20 years. During this war on terrorism, thousands of service members have given the ultimate sacrifice to keep us safe, and we thank them. Just as we thank the incredible airmen and guardians standing in front of us today who have pledged to also defend their country with their life. This is an amazing commitment to set aside their own interests and safety to preserve our national security and our ideals. They are true American heroes. As parents of an airman standing in front of you, my husband and I share your pride in knowing they have chosen to be part of something bigger than ourselves. Because the battle's not over. Our nation faces great challenges, near-peer competitors and great power competitions that challenge our way of life, our values, and our safety. These airmen and guardians are now part of the world's greatest fighting force, committed to deterring and preventing our adversaries from threatening our vital interests and our allies. We must empower these young men and women because it's through their initiative and innovative ideas that we will continue to ensure peace and security. These young minds will find new ways to make us stronger, faster, and more lethal. And they will do it through the strength of our total force represented here, active duty, reserve, and guard. They will do it together. They will do it through their diversity and their commitment to treat everyone with dignity and respect. They will make us better. They know that our greatest strength is our diversity, that we are better as one, and we are all Americans. United we stand, and we will never leave a wingman or guardian behind. Friends and family of these outstanding young women and men, thank you. Thank you for being part of what inspired them to answer their nation's call. The values you instilled, the encouragement you provided, and the love you showed gave them the courage, commitment, and patriotism to stand before you today. And thank you to all of our veterans, past and present, who answered the highest calling and proudly served our nation. And the Air and Space Forces would not be the stellar fighting forces they are without the incredible military training instructors of the 33rd Training Squadron. They took these young Americans and have taught them about honor, integrity, valor, teamwork, and the importance of doing everything, even the small stuff, with excellence. It is through your wisdom, professionalism, and patience that these amazing airmen and guardians learned who they are and who they were meant to be. And we thank you. And finally, to the 526 airmen and guardians graduating today, you inspire me. You inspire me with your service, your sacrifice, and your excellence, and I am honored to serve alongside you. I have just one question for you. Are you ready to join the ranks of the world's greatest air and space forces? I think they're ready.
Flight commanders, place your flights at attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Brigadier General Vernon will now administer the oath of enlistment.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me. according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Congratulations, Airmen and Guardians.
Thank you, General Vernon. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of the Air Force song, followed by the departure of the official party. Congratulations, Airmen and Guardians, on achieving this historic milestone that marks the beginning of your career. Flight commanders, dismiss your flights. For your safety, we ask that you refrain from running onto the retreat.